Hello, I really hope you're well. We're in Dunleary in Dublin, and this is my daughter Katie.
Hello.
And Katie and I, we kind of have this ritual every Sunday, or with the other children as well. We come down here and we buy our produce. And I personally have been buying my produce for almost the last 25 years from the same vendor. And I want to talk a little bit about health. And especially if you have children, this is really good to get these, I encourage you to get these values into children and to think about health, not merely the absence or the non-presence of a symptom or disease or condition like that, but in terms of vibrance, in terms of well-being, in terms of just being energetic. And so if you think about what's essential for life, that's a good place to start. Like things like your food, and that's what we're going to talk about today. But your water, I've done a fantastic video on water. I encourage you to, and we're going to put the link up above to take a look at that. What else? Sleep. So if you think of what's essential for life, in things in terms of if you stop doing them, you're going to perish or die. They probably are essential for health. And so if you take something like food, for example, and you interfere with it qualitatively or quantitatively, let's say instead of eating, let's say, raw foods and things like that, you just processed, chances are you're not going to be well. And this is pretty basic stuff, okay? But we want to go a little deeper than that, and we want to talk about in terms of local and in season. There's an election coming up here in Ireland. Is it a presidential election? Yeah, coming up. And if you vote and if you find these things important, great, good for you. But I think on a personal level, on a more basic level, every time you purchase like your produce or foods from some multinational or something outside, you're also making a vote. And so it's really important to support your local farmers and encourage them. But in terms of produce, in terms of diet, and I've said this in many videos before, you want to eat what's in season and you want to eat what's locally. And so right now it's getting a little cool here, isn't it, in Ireland? And so you want, when you eat what's in season here, for example, like these things, look at the color of this beautiful kale, and it's delicious. What this does is it sets your system, your blood starts thickening, and the constituency of the blood gets thicker, and it prepares you for the changing weathers. So, for example, let's say if Katie here was eating something, God forbid, something from the tropics, something sugary or citrusy, what that would thin her blood out, and she wouldn't be able to warm down, and she wouldn't be well. And so it's always essential to eat what's local and what's in season. And one other point I'd like to talk about is raw food versus cooked food. A lot of, like right now, raw food is kind of trending. A lot of people want it, they say, eat a raw diet and stuff like that. And that's good if you're active. But if you're not active, let's say if you sit in a desk job and you're eating raw foods, you're not going to be well, and you're going to have lots of, let's say, gas and problems like that. So you want to eat cooked food. If you're very active, raw food would be great. But anything else you want to say? Okay, so what we want to do today is we're going to actually take you to, I interviewed my actual farmer, and it's really good to develop a relationship with your farmer, because this is part of your healthcare team.
You really have to love what you do, and I don't think it's for every farmer. It's not, to actually grow organic and then go and sell your produce at a farmer's market or whatever. If you sell to a supermarket, you're back to just, you don't know where your produce goes and that, and people don't know who you are and this sort of thing. But it's a very niche sort of thing. You would love to see it grow, but people's attitudes have to change from farming point of view and from buying point of view. It all has to change, but slowly but surely. I mean, our customer loyalty builds up week in, week out, year in, year out. It's amazing. I have people with me over 17, 18 years. It's just amazing. And they're still with me, thank God. So when people come and shop with us first, I can always spot newcomers. They pick up something and they turn it upside down, inside out, and smell it, and I'll always know the people who'll stay with me and the people who'll go. And the people who'll go are the ones who actually throw something back, and you sort of say, a lot of care and attention went into that. Please don't handle our produce like that. But you can't. You keep your mouth shut. And then you see the other people, and they start asking questions. They start asking about where you grow, what do you grow, is this your produce or is it not? Do you import, do you not? And then you tell them about our family farm and what we grow and what we don't grow. And all of a sudden they start saying, okay, but your prices, they should be dearer than that. And I said, well, no, they're not. We have the the perception is there that organic is dearer. Now, what we've tried to do is keep prices level and down, and so that, you know, we can make a living but also make it affordable. What's the point in growing something if it's not affordable to the ordinary folk, like, you know? So they come, they buy, and they sort of realise, hey, if I bought all my greens and all my veg here, well then it's not actually that much more expensive. You know, if they compare like with like, they will actually see that we're not more, you know, organic farming is not much more expensive than ordinary, you know, farming and that. About 20 years ago we were growing the cabbage and the cauliflower and that, and we you know, they were saying sometimes they were pecked by pigeons and the supermarket didn't want that, and you could spray for that, and then they were eaten by slugs in other cases, and you could spray for that, and you could put slug pellets down. And I don't know, we were never that keen on putting all this stuff, and then we're saying, well, what about, I know the rabbits take some stuff and the hares take some stuff, but, you know, they're allowed some, but they have to live too, like, you know. So, and you know, what happened them and what happened their young if you started putting slug pellets down? And I obviously thought too much as well. We just sort of said, okay, well, then when we started the market, it was a case of, you know, people saying, well, okay, your prices are good and your stuff is good and that, but are you organic? And I kept saying no, but we don't use sprays and we don't use the 10-10-20. Well, we couldn't afford it. I mean, it was just things were. But you know, and I'm saying, well, why don't you just back it up? You know, why don't you just have the organic sign and that? You know, go get certified and be done with it. And it was actually Dennis Healy from who encouraged us to go ahead and do it. He says, Jenny, look, your stuff is good. Just go ahead and just get it done. I said, yeah, but it's expensive. Just do it. So we got the money together, we got inspected, and we haven't looked back. I mean, it's been tough, but we haven't looked back, like, you know. It was a good decision to make at the time. We have always sold ourselves as local, we're fresh, and we're organic is what we sell ourselves at, really. And I think everybody's come on board, and it's our custom base is built by word of mouth, like, you know, and to come in, week out, and they see their produce is fresh, like, you know, and very seldom do they have to throw anything out, and either they bought too much, or there can be the odd occasion where a salad leaf goes off and then it turns the whole bag, like, you know, it can happen, especially in the height of summer and that, but generally, you know, they just love what we do, which is why I love all my people.